Squat Senior here. I have this Zenith style TU4C carburetor that I've been working on. In a previous video I showed how to disassemble this thing. Today we're going to get into the reassembly of this. This carburetor is used on the early D2, D4 pony motor starts, and also on some of the John Deere with the pony motor starting engine. So anyway, I got some little tips and stuff. I'll show what I do on this as I reassemble. As you can see, I've got everything cleaned up, sitting out on the bench, got my kit all laid out. The kit comes with instruction sheet, very helpful. Nothing else, got pictures. Throttle shaft, choke shaft, got all my parts laid out here I'm going to use. I did, before I clean this carburetor up, as you can see, I've got this hole right here that I drilled a plug out to clean this passage. What I've got is the carburetor I haven't worked on yet. This come off a D2 pony motor. As you can see, the plug's still in. I'll do a little demonstration of how I drill that out, clean that passage out, and tap for a plug to seal that up again. I've got a few different ways I've sealed these in the past. This is a little 177 lead pellet you use in the air guns. What you do is you can stick that in the end of that. It seals. You hammer it in, sealed up. Had real good luck with that. For my carburetor supplier, he comes up with this kit of miscellaneous size plugs. This is a 1032 thread on these that's used for when you pull the soldered plugs out. You can tap and stick that in. Some other different types of plugs I've run into. I've got this style here. I've salvaged them out of some stuff I took apart. Also got the 1032 thread, which really works good on that size of passage. And one thing I have not tried, but I see no reason why it wouldn't work, is just take a brass dome head screw, 1032 thread. Works good in these bores, like I say. I don't see why you couldn't tap it out, level your surface out, put a gasket on that, maybe some thread sealer, and then also put that in. I see no reason in the world that wouldn't seal it. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'll get this car right here set up, and we'll start drilling that out, and I'll show you my process. Okay, got my vise set up, got a set of soft jaws for it. These here happen to be rubber coated. Whatever method you got to stabilize this carburetor, some guys will just set it on a bench, do it by hand. It all depends whatever you want to do. Some guys will clamp it right into vise. One thing you want to make sure is you don't clamp real tight to distort this body at all. So anyway, first thing I'll do is I'll get her set up, snug her in. I'll kind of clean just the surface area off, kind of get a good look. You can see how it's kind of shining up there. Then I'll probably just take a file and we'll gradually just level that off there. Okay, gives you an idea, or you can center that. I'll take me a center punch and start working as close to the center of that as I can. I'll lightly tap it until I get where I want it to go. Easy to move your center punch mark over, just tap her down a little bit. Okay, looks like I got a pretty good starting spot. This here is a 7/64 bit I use, which is smaller than the passage. We'll just start working, drilling that out. Drill's pretty easy, as you can see. You don't want to drill, if you can help it, into any part of the body here. Try to stay right inside that lead plug. Okay, we're through on that. And then whatever, I've got this pick. A lot of times you can get in there and you can just start working that out. Okay, there you go. That's what it is in there. Really isn't much. Next, I'll take a bit, and to make sure this passage here is open, I'll just work that bit in by hand. I have had these totally plugged. You can see this one's actually pretty good shape. See, yeah, we got a nice clean passage there. That works good. But like I say, this is a real common area where you get sediment and stuff plugged up. It comes in through the high-speed jet, settles in that area. It will not feed gas through to the throttle body. So anyway, we got a nice clean hole there. Okay, now that I use a 1032 size plug in there, I've got the wire gauge drill bit set up, and a number 21 bit is recommended for a 1032 size. So next step I'll do is we'll bore that out to a number 21 drill bit size. And you don't have to go long ways, but just kind of make sure you try to stay square with the body as much as possible. Okay, I think that's deep enough. Then we'll take a 1032 tap and we'll just start gradually working that in there. Get her started square. Once you started, just kind of back off, break the chip off once in a while. Then after I get her started, I'll just take her out. And I like to tip her up. That way, chips will fall out. You got to clean this again anyway before your final installation. But anyway, this helps keeps the chips from accumulating in there. You can see them dropping out as I'm doing this. Ooh, lots of stuff coming out of there. So there was crud. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll take and test fit my plug and get her so she starts to snug up and I still have some thread left. Okay, that's about right. Then what I'll do is I'll tighten that down, and seeing how the tap is tapered, the reason I leave a little thread, I still have like a taper thread in this bore area here, and as I put this straight threaded plug in there, it'll tighten up on the taper just like a pipe plug. So to me, that is about right. I have some of these plugs got a hex on. You can tighten them in, you can leave them. If you don't like that exposed out there, you can always take and cut it off, put a screwdriver slot in. As you see, some of these I get from my carburetor supplier. It's already got the screwdriver slot in. That's why I kind of like to get these. They're already set to go. So anyway, what I'll do, I'll put a little thread sealer on there, tighten her in. She'll tighten down on that thread just like a pipe plug. But before you go through all that, the final step on this carburetor is you go make sure this thing is all clean inside and stuffed, and you don't have any metal shavings left in there or anything like that. So when you put this together, you should not have any problems. Like I say, I see no reason you couldn't use just a screw with a flat head like this. You'd have to thread this down in a little deeper. I mean, you could thread it in deeper. You're not going to really hurt that much of stuff there. Just so you don't want to cover up where this main jet comes in. So if you use this type, you might have to cut it off short. But if you use a shorter screw, cut her off, because this is your main jet goes into this passage, just so you don't plug where this comes down this way. Put a gasket in there, some sealer. I don't see where a screw wouldn't hurt either. So anyway, as I say, I've had good luck doing this with just a plug. I just go in And if I needed to go deeper, I would just do one turn of the tap at a time, do a test fit until I get it where I want. And as you can see, this passage will probably come down into this area right here. So the end of my plug is still going to be back into this area, which will leave this passage open. Anyway, there's some of these. This is the main one. If you want, you can get into some of these others, taking them out. This one, probably not. All that is drilled in, so you get a passage into there. You can see that when you take this out. This passage here goes down into this area for the compensator. This one goes over to the compensator jet here. If you don't feel comfortable, usually you can take carburetor cleaner, spray in there, and air hose. Generally, they don't plug up. This is usually the main problem here. If your engine needs to be choked all the time to run, good possibility this passage right here is plugged up. Anyway, that's my procedure for putting the plug in.